Hi, how are you? My name is Matt Ackerson, and in today's video we're talking about how first impressions matter, how you can make your client onboarding process as frictionless as possible. Co-writing this article with one of our amazing copywriters, Landon, here at AutoGrow. AutoGrow is a platform that helps you to delegate all your digital marketing tasks and projects so that you don't have to play middleman for your clients and you don't have to deal with the typical hiring headaches involved with scaling your agency. We're going to go through each of these questions and let's jump right into it. So, talking about onboarding and making the process as frictionless as possible. With AutoGrow, what is our client onboarding process? How did we actually arrive at this? Our onboarding process is a client will sign up, and it's important to note too that we deliver a productized service. We call it also a platform, but it is also a productized service. And before people actually sign up and buy, we work really hard to be as clear as possible about what it is that they are getting, what's included, what are the features, anticipating their questions. So that's part of the context that people are coming into it with. And I think it's best to say too that most of the time, almost all of the purchases that happen, they'll happen through a consultation. We've also found that this helps with the lifetime value, where clients who actually get on a call with us, they will stay longer than clients who just sign up, through the checkout page without actually talking to someone first. So on the initial call, which I would include kind of as, beginning in a way the onboarding process, because when we get on the call with clients, it's not a hard sell, and we actually work hard to not make it be that way at all, because we want everyone to be happy. We want to make sure that this is a great fit based on their goals, usually as an agency. Where are they at? Where do they want to get to? Can AutoGrow be a solution based on the problem that we know that we're really great at solving? It's not a hard sell. Clients are usually pretty well educated already before they get on the call with us. And on the call, once they are ready to sign up, they will actually pay there on the call. We'll help them with selecting whichever package is right for them, and answering any final questions. And we'll get them signed up right on the call. So onboarding begins right there, and we will take their information, let them know how to get started logging in immediately after the call is finished, and we will help them start to fill out a little bit of their brand profile, or we'll just say, hey, you can go fill this out later. So the brand profile for us is just kind of gathering some of the basics up front. It's a one-time thing. It's like 5 to 10 minutes to help us set up our client's account, and this serves as as a reference point for many of the future tasks that we will do for our clients. So it's asking about what's the name of their business, what's their website, who's their target market, what is their product or service that they're selling, and just a little bit about how they deliver that service, common questions, social proof, things like this. A lot of our clients have said in the past that they really like this part of the process because it actually helps them to think a little critically about their own business. And just in terms of answering these questions, helps them to kind of nail down some of the things that maybe have been kind of just percolating for a while, and just kind of get a better understanding of their business and where they're at. So that's the first step. We also make it easy, speaking of frictionless, for clients to just skip this step if they want, and they can just do it later. And we make it optional as well for all of our agency clients, who's the majority of our client base, for any of their clients to fill out a brand profile. So they can do it partially or fully, whatever they think is best to execute tasks and projects that are delegated to us through the platform effectively. We always ask for at least the basic information, what's the product or service, who's the target market, basic information about the brand and the company. And that's kind of the initial onboarding process. Once they get into the app, there's an automatic welcome message from Growbot, we call it, AutoGrow, Growbot, posts a message there and says, hey, welcome, you've made a great choice. So we're trying to make people feel good about their decision to sign up, and just kind of affirming that decision, that that's a great investment, and we are here ready to receive their tasks and projects that they want to delegate. And in addition to that, we also have a human, our team is notified when the new sign up actually has occurred, so that then immediately a human, not just, the automated bot message, we can jump in there, we can say, oh, hello, I'm your assigned project manager, and my name is, Mary or whatever. First, let's get you booked on your complimentary onboarding strategy call. And also, here's your guide. So it's a PDF guide, very visual, that they can look at too. And the benefit to this is that, some clients, they just want to click around, and the app is very simple, very easy to use, but they just want to click around and kind of figure out how to navigate it on their own, how to assign their first project, how to delegate it, how to use the live chat. Or they might prefer the PDF version or a combination of the strategy call. So the strategy call is really great because it is designed to give our clients a quick win in the form of just some immediate value, where they'll get on a call with the strategist who is assigned to their account, and they will start talking about, okay, here's what I want to accomplish, or here's how I'm looking to use AutoGrow to benefit me and my firm. And then we're able to advise based on that, and to give them ideas right off the bat and help them to put together a plan, because maybe they want to, in many cases, agencies that are growing, they'll just neglect. And speaking, as a former agency owner, that's actually how AutoGrow started. We wanted to build something to solve our own problem. It's really easy to neglect your own sales funnel, your own website, your own marketing assets, because you're too busy just running around, trying to keep up with all the client work, many of which, and this is why there's a need for AutoGrow, you just have to turn away sometimes because you just don't have enough capacity. You have a client capacity bottleneck. So yeah, whether clients are looking to create a new website, an updated sales funnel, or just update their marketing assets in general, we look to advise and help on that from a strategy perspective. We also look to help them to make sure that they understand what's the full scope of value that they now have access to through the AutoGrow platform. How do they delegate? How they interact with us? And what are their communication preferences? What are their goals with their business? What does success look like for them? And this is a very valuable conversation. A lot of our clients give us really positive feedback on it because, again, it's like a quick win. They're sometimes, every time actually, they're getting a deliverable, whether it's a list of proposed ideas and tasks that they can start to delegate to us, or for instance, a sales funnel diagram, which then we can execute on for them, whether it's for their clients or for their business. So it's a quick deliverable. It's kind of a quick sample of a little bit of our capabilities, and it may help them to think about things that they haven't thought about as far as their business, how to grow, and how to actually get maximum value from the AutoGrow platform. The final ingredients that we have right now for onboarding, because we're constantly learning. Continuous self-improvement is our number one core value as a company, so we keep getting better and better with this. We recently launched an onboarding email sequence. So in these emails, actually, clients will get over the course of I believe it's a month to 6 weeks, like twice per week, just one bite-sized tip for how to get more value from their account on AutoGrow. AutoGrow, it's kind of like, I like to think of it a little bit like a gym. So the more that clients go to the gym, the fitter that their businesses and their agencies actually become. Because they're delegating more, they're getting more value, their expectations are being clearly set, and they're able to work less. So that's That's part of it. I think that in the future we might do more with like accountability and just kind of reaching out, helping our clients to like, hey, come back to the gym, every day, because every time you come back, you're actually getting net profit in terms of value, in terms of time saved, in terms of helping you to execute for your clients on their tasks and projects. That's a bit about our onboarding process and how we arrived at it. I think, again, like I said, we're going to put more emphasis on accountability in the future, and just helping our clients to kind of be in the gym every day, so to speak. And another feature that we're working on is maybe some sort of a progress bar that will show them like, hey, you haven't done this yet, and that way they kind of get the full scope and they can visually see the progress bar as they move towards 100%. So that they have a full scope understanding of everything that we can do and how to get maximum value. That strategy call, we try to frame that up as something that's quick value, a quick win, but then we're also really looking at the first couple of tasks or projects that we complete for clients, because really if people have a great onboarding experience, not just that first win from the call and kind of a good initial relationship and rapport that is built, but also getting that first couple of tasks or couple of projects executed, done, and they're happy with the quality, they're happy with the turnaround time. Seeing that, experiencing that, it's kind of like we're always selling. And for your business, in terms of whether you're onboarding your clients or your customers to your SaaS platform, whatever it might be, you constantly want to be selling and reminding people of the value and value that's been delivered and things that have been achieved so far. So we're going to keep doing more with that going forward, and I look forward to giving a future update on that and how it goes. But we found that the calls are really helpful in terms of building relationship and rapport. Second question, what are the benefits? I'll go through this a little quicker because there's 5 more. What are the benefits of having a good client onboarding process? What kind of problems does it help you to avoid? Well, I think I've already talked about the benefits, for instance, with hours, getting on the phone, setting expectations, really defining the scope of work, what is included, what might not be included, and benefits of upgrading, of different packages. So really just setting expectations, but also when you do that, when you get on the call, again, like I said, we found that the lifetime value is significantly longer, like several months longer in most cases. Some people come in and they're ready to sign up and they don't need a call, and that's fine. But the complimentary strategy call people really value as well, because it's kind of like it's like a little free dessert if you're going to a restaurant. You didn't expect it, but it's there and it helps you to get going. And in terms of problems, it helps to avoid. So, any problem that you can think of around just setting expectations about what is included, what's not included. Because if people think that the scope of work is like, something, and agencies can relate to this because, with clients, with any type of service, there's always a risk of scope creep. And the better that can be defined, the more problems that it helps to avoid. And I think just in general, the happier that people are. And I think kind of a graceful onboarding in this way too, where we're just kind of like holding their hand. We're saying, hey, we're here, we're humans, we really care about your success. Or if you need anything, let us know. And we try to be proactive about it too. It resonates with people when you show that you genuinely care about their success. They tune into this, and we can just pick up on it naturally. And yeah, that just increases goodwill as well, which I think helps to extend the relationship farther and helps it to be more positive and constructive communication long term. Like for example, a client where you have a better relationship base already built is more likely to give you feedback on something that can actually help you to improve your business across the board than someone who may not have been as invested or have as good of an onboarding process. They might just say, hey, I'm just going to cancel and peace out. So So yeah, and that feedback can be really valuable, and it allows you to kind of pivot and tweak and constantly refine. So those are some of the benefits and problems it helps to avoid. What steps should an agency take to ensure that their client onboarding process is smooth? Well, I think that what I found really worked really well for us back when we were still an agency years ago was selling a project roadmap. And we started off selling these project roadmaps. First off, a project roadmap is basically like a proposal. And we used to do them for free, and that sucked. It really didn't work because it would actually require expertise and time, my expertise and time. And I would put a lot of time into it, and a lot of consultants, freelancers, agencies can relate to this. And then just like, a lot of sales just wouldn't close. But I kept at it, and I remember actually this idea originally I heard from Brennan Dunn. I was in a mastermind with him, and he runs doubleyourfreelancing.com, and he came up with this concept of the project roadmap. And basically the idea is that you're selling the proposal, and we started doing this. We started at $300, then we moved up the price to $500, and it had no impact at all, but people would buy it. And then people would actually value it more. So, and then also our close rate actually went up, which was really cool. So, so project roadmaps are a great kind of stepping stone in terms of a relationship. It's almost like a tripwire, if you're familiar with that term from sales funnels. It's like, you buy a $7 swipe file, and then it's just an easier upsell to like a $99 ebook, for instance. I would call it in this case not a tripwire, but I call it a service slice, because you're giving a little slice of your abilities packaged into a fixed deliverable, for the potential client. And I would also give just a killer guarantee with the project roadmap as well, which made it a no-brainer for a lot of clients. I would say, look, if you feel like you don't get at least $500 of value from, the follow-up, consultation where I present, the project roadmap to you, then I'll just refund your money, no problem. And we never had anyone take us. We never had anyone take us up on the refund offer, actually. So yeah, project roadmaps are a great part to smooth out your onboarding process with clients. Plus, the added benefit too was that we would actually say the $500 that they paid would apply as a credit towards the full project if they decided to move forward. So really, they had nothing to lose, and it further qualified them as a client too. It showed that they were serious and they valued our time and our expertise. And they were ultimately happy just because they paid. What other steps could an agency take to smooth out their onboarding process? Well, I think really early on, just kind of setting and just repeating expectations. Like, this is the timeline that we're working on. This is the scope of work. It's really basic, but it goes a long way to avoiding problems later on where the project is about to end and they're like, well, what about this? I thought you're also gonna do these 20 other things over here. And you're like, don't want to hurt their client relationship. How do I say no to this? Maybe I'll just do it for free. No, don't do that. So yeah, just constantly setting and resetting expectations. Here's the timeline. Here's the scope of work. Here's what's done, and just repeating that. Repeat. What are some mistakes agencies usually make with their client onboarding process? Doing proposals for free. Like I said, just in general, not charging for things that are valuable, that are going to give sufficient value where it really merits charging money for it. Yeah, and just general not setting expectations, which allows scope creep to happen, and then you could have an unhappy client on your hands. Also, I think just kind of like onboarding, like if you think of onboarding kind of beginning with the sales consultation or where you're presenting the proposal, remember you're interviewing the client too. And if the client is difficult or seems complicated, or like, the type of client where they write emails in all caps and they seem unaware of this, might be a client to avoid. Don't be desperate to make the sale. It's not worth it if it's not going to be a good fit long term. Are there tools, techniques, and other elements that were a game changer in making your client onboarding more effective? Not really. Really just kind of the basics. Really just communicating, repeatedly setting expectations. I mean, we use our active campaign CRM to drip out emails over the course of the first 6 weeks when they sign up. Like I said, using the power of face-to-face video like Zoom is really effective. So really it's more about the execution of it and just implementing it and thinking of it for us like a funnel, because people have just paid. They want their decision to be affirmed. So don't stop selling until you've delivered the goods. Make them feel good, because if they feel good, they're not nervous about investing and putting their money into you, then they're going to stay with you for a very long time. Because even if you deliver a great end result, if they felt like they were in the dark at any time, that's a big point that can count against you and against the relationship. Finally, what different skills and processes are required to attract clients versus keep them long term? Well, for attracting clients, there's some great research that I reread recently from the company Profitwell, aka Price Intelligently. They started off as an agency just specializing in pricing and helping other companies with doing pricing research to set the right price to maximize profit and this sort of thing. And then they developed the Profitwell tool, which is a free tool that people would plug in, their payment processing like PayPal or Stripe into it, and it would analyze the data and show them for free like how much they were making each month, and their monthly recurring revenue, this sort of thing. So some of the research that they published on their blog, this is actually years ago as well, but it's always stuck with me, is this chart. And it shows acquisition versus monetization versus retention. So acquisition means like investing money into acquiring new clients. And this graph was meant to show like if you invested into one of these different things, how much of that influenced your growth relative to the others. So something like that. So there's acquisition, there was retention, and then there was monetization. Monetization dealt more with like pricing. Like if you increase your price, you can, double your profits or whatever. And retention is about, keeping them long term, like what this question is saying. So what was really great about that bar chart that's always stayed with me, it's actually been visually persuasive, which is another article we wrote recently, was that it was like 3% of 3% impact relative to whatever, however they're measuring this for acquisition. And this was based on looking at hundreds and hundreds of companies versus 6%. So double the amount of growth from retention. And then the highest was actually monetization, which came in at 4 times that 3% for acquisition. So it was about like 12%. But retention in particular, apparently, by doing better, like with something like onboarding, can have a significantly like double the impact of what improvements in acquisition can have for your business in terms of your bottom line. In terms of what skills and processes are required, I mean, you really need a sales funnel mindset. I think I find that very beneficial because you think of it like a system, and there's like these moving parts, and what is moving down the conveyor belt in a way is the client. And but the client, like I don't know, the temperature. Imagine the client kind of like a package, or just like a widget representing the relationship, right? And it's moving down the conveyor belt, and the temperature of that widget represents like how positive or negative the relationship is going. And if you're able to keep that widget warm and satisfied, then it's going to keep moving down the conveyor belt instead of jumping off and walking away. If the widget, let's assume, can do that. They're actually, I would say they're very similar. So in a way, I think it's useful to not think about them as separate things in a way, because it's almost like you want to continuously acquire and reacquire the confidence and trust of your clients. Because again, they want to know that if I invest $1, I'm going to get $2 or more back. That's the equation, right? That's the value equation. And you want to keep reminding them, here's what we accomplished, here's why it's good, here's what's working, okay? And they're going to stay with you forever if you do an effective job of that. The temperature of the widget moving down the conveyor belt will be such that they're golden, they're happy, and you're going to need to build a second factory because the conveyor belt's going to get really long. All right, so I hope you found value from this video. Let me know what you think in the comments. If you're watching this on YouTube, go ahead, subscribe to our channel for more videos like this. If you have a question or an idea for an article or a video like this that you want me and the team to consider for the future, please leave it in the comments. I would love to hear your questions. And again, if you want to check us out, it's AutoGrow.co. We help agencies to scale to their first or next $1 million, okay, by growing as fast as they can sell, rather than being bottlenecked around this problem of client capacity, where you can only take on so many clients because, hey, you just have to hire more people, you have to manage more, and you just don't have the time. Instead, a few clicks, AutoGrow gives you a complete team with the complete skill sets, and you're good to go. No hiring, no payroll, no interviews, no drama, no flaky freelancers or anything like this. You can scale to the moon, and that's what we want to help you do. Check it out at autogrow.co. Thank you very much. I'll see you soon.